Today, we're building a cherry blossom cul-de-sac in Animal Crossing. Hi everyone! My name is Katy, and thank you for joining me for another Animal Crossing video. Y'all already know I love my cul-de-sac builds, and today we're doing another one here on my second island of Polyphia. But first, I need to say thank you so much for helping me reach 1,500 subscribers. I am really just so grateful for all of you, especially considering my recent breaks for mental health and burnout. But I'm back, the Animal Crossing community seems like it's back, and I have a lot of ideas in store, so with all of that out of the way, let's get started. So if you've watched any of my other cul-de-sac videos, you know the drill. I will have chapters listed for this video if you want to skip around, but basically I am starting with my grid. Now I do a whole in-depth explanation of this grid in my cul-de-sac tutorial video, which I will have linked down below. But basically I start with a 2x2 square in the center of my cul-de-sac, and I create a 10x10 grid to map out the area between the houses. Once I have that done, I map out the plots for the houses themselves, and I go in and I erase my grid. Then I start with my custom codes. As always, I'm using this amazing code by Colin Crossing. He has some of the best road patterns and you should definitely check him out. But I start out with the full square spaces in the middle and around the sides before getting into the more complicated diagonal pieces. Then I just go in and I start laying down the different diagonals. I like to start with the pieces that have both the sidewalk and the road along the perimeter. And then I go in and I fill in some of those diagonal pieces around the middle part and down the walkway. And I continue to add in the correlating edge pieces where they're supposed to go. Usually I pick one certain code and I fill in all of the spaces on the cul-de-sac that require that code. And then I switch to the next code and I do the same thing. But that's just the process that works the best for me. But I promise it's really not that hard once you start to get the hang of it. And at this point I've done who knows how many cul-de-sac builds. I'll leave some of them linked below as well. Once I have all of the codes in the cul-de-sac filled in, I'm going to go in with my secondary pathing, which for me this time is a dirt path, also by Colin Crossing, and I connect the cul-de-sac itself to the house plots. I don't want this to look too fancy or perfect, so I try to make it a little bit natural looking. It's like their little driveway. And once I have all of those custom paths laid down, my villagers are ready to move in. I ended up going with Gayle, Judy, and Ione for this neighborhood, and it's very pink with a little bit of blue, which I ended up really liking. And now that all of our preparation is done, we're ready for the best part, decorating. So I started with fencing off the yards. I went with the white vertical fencing to add some height, and I just really like that fence. I think it looks really good in neighborhoods. I'm also messing with the trees and getting them exactly where I want them. And then I start on this right side of Judy's house. I ended up making this a little Valentine's Day dinner area. Maybe it's Galentine's Day for the cul-de-sac. I don't know, but I think it turned out so cute. I added this adorable fireplace, which I know doesn't make any sense to be outside, but just ignore that. And I added some really cute blanket codes, which I haven't really used anywhere else on the island, so I was really excited to be able to use them here. And then I'm messing with that fencing again around Gayle and Ione's houses. One thing I knew is that I wanted that nuptial bell in the center of the plaza. I love how that looks. It makes it look very romantic, but also kind of classy, I guess. And I'm just decorating this adorable Valentine's Day dinner or tea party, whatever it's gonna end up being. I really love how this turned out because some of my favorite items in the game are the food items, and especially the pink ones. I also thought adding that portrait of Reese and Cyrus was perfect for this area with the blue and the pink and the Valentine's Day theme. It really pulled it all together. I'm just adding some more finishing details on this side with, again, some of my favorite items in the cutest white and pink variants, and I really love how this whole little section turned out. Then I got started on the left side of Judy's house, which I turned into a little flower garden. Nothing too complex here. I just love how little flower gardens turn out, and most of my island is custom patterns and more town-like, so I don't have really many flower garden areas, so I thought this was a good excuse to have one. I also really wanted to use a few gyroids over here because they're just adorable. The squeakoid and the oinkoid, is that right? I'm not sure, but they are so cute, and of course I had to use them in the pink variants. I'm also using a few 2.0 items like the greenhouse and those flower starts and the windmill, and I think those items really tie the whole area together and give a lot of dimension, height, and just a nice vibe to this whole area. Oh, and of course a milk can, because if you've been here for a while, you know that I love the milk cans. I finished with more items and more custom patterns, and of course a cherry blossom pile. I did a little bit of decorating to the road and sidewalk area before moving on to Ione's house. Choosing what I wanted to do for Ione was very easy. I wanted to give her the perfect stargazing yard. So I added some custom patterns with the blanket and some cherry blossom petals, as well as a little picnic blanket. I wanted to add in those party lights to give more light at nighttime, and I end up adding in that cute pink tent. And of course a telescope and a bunch of the Nova items and the star clock and some dropped star fragments. I don't use these items as often anymore, but they are definitely some of my favorites, so I was really excited to use them, and Ione is the perfect candidate to have such a yard. I also added in a lot of butterfly models around this whole build and this whole area of the island. Fun fact, in real life, I'm kind of afraid of butterflies, but in Animal Crossing, I like them. I also knew I needed to have that blue skateboard by her house because it just was the perfect color, and in my head it makes total sense that Ione is a skater girl. Okay, moving on to Gayle's house. Now, I struggled with what I wanted to give Gayle, but I knew I wanted to do something that I never really had done before. So I made Gayle a musician, a rock star, whatever you want to call her. She knows how to play piano, guitar, ukulele, the drums. She probably knows some other instruments, but those were the ones that I put out for her. So I'm adding different custom codes, again, a beautiful party lights arch, one of my favorite items in the whole freaking game. And I also really love that street piano in the pastel variant. It's so cute and you rarely have an excuse to use it, but I've actually used it a couple times on this island because I love it so much. She of course has a pink amp and a pink guitar, as well as a pink drum and a pink ukulele. And I also added in just some other items to make the area feel complete. Once that was done, I moved on to the center area of the cul-de-sac and I went with some more of those wedding items. They just fit the color scheme so well with the pink, white, and blue, and I, again, feel like I never really use those items anywhere, so I was excited to use them here, and I think that they ended up looking really nice, especially paired with those Turkey Day garden stands. I kept it pretty simple and symmetrical, and I think that that ended up looking very nice in the center plaza here of the cul-de-sac. Then I had to add some more decorations around the houses themselves and the yards to tie in the cul-de-sac with the rest of the area around it. And to do that, I just added in flowers and flower beds and pergolas and trees and custom codes. Nothing too complex, just some simple items that take up space and make the cul-de-sac seem like it's part of a larger area instead of just a random little neighborhood up on a hill. And of course, everything's pink. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. This has got to be one of my favorite neighborhoods that I've built on any of my islands. I love the pink, of course, but I also love using different items that I don't often use and going for some of my favorite themes as well as some themes that I've never done before. I think that the Valentine's Day dinner is definitely my favorite part of the whole build, but I also really like Judy's little flower garden as well. Overall, I just love it. I could hang out here all the time if my island didn't lag so much, but we can just ignore that for now. I hope you liked this one. If you did, please leave a like and a comment down below, and if you'd like to see more from me, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when I post a new video. Like I said in the intro, I have a lot of ideas and different videos coming, so if you'd like to see those, I hope that you'll stick around. I hope that you and yours are staying safe, happy, and healthy through this winter, and just know that spring is on the horizon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye!